Hey everyone, welcome! Welcome back to another weekly stream Friday with DanFan. But today, it is Fanart Friday. Extra special stream for this one. It's been a while since I've done the last fan art themed stream. I think the last time I did it, I was still promoting the Horizon Quest mailing list. And obviously, that campaign is already done, hence, the Horizon Quest comic behind me. So, naturally, for this Fan Art Friday, we have a lot of fan art for Horizon Quest. Yay! Now, to be fair, in other Fridays with DanFan, I've kind of shown a little bit of fan art from Horizon Quest, but for this one, it's going to be focused on whatever I've collected in my folder from, the last fan art stream. And we'll have time to talk about other things, of course, if anything comes to mind. These Friday streams are pretty chill, it's just whatever. Hey Ishka, it's been a while. What's up? All right, so how's everybody's Friday? I guess we'll start there. My Friday, it's been quite rainy. Rainy and hot. Bad combination. Never like it. 0 out of 10. Wouldn't live again, But other than that, I guess it's been fine. I finally got out my first One Piece live action review, just episode 1. I wanted to review them episode by episode because I feel like everyone just whenever they do a review of the whole series, they're always going to kind of review it based on how satisfied they were at the end of it. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a little bit more balanced to do it episode by episode because not every episode is going to be a 10 out of 10 exactly. And I think it's meaningful and valuable to know which parts they did correctly and what parts they did wrong for the live action show. So somebody was like, you should have just done a review of the whole thing. I don't want to hear your complaints about episode per episode, grr. But no, I'm just going to do the reviews episode by episode. That's how I wanted to do it. So that's how it is. Hello, everybody. Everybody's popping into stream. Everyone's excited for the fan art on the Friday. I guess we might as well get started then, huh? So we got a bunch that came from Christy. Of course, good idea to mark your territory on this fan art, because sometimes I will not remember your username. I do label the files based on their username, but So we got this beautiful looking black and white piece of Vera. She looks adorable. It's kind of funny, this outfit, the dress, the super tight dress, it's very reminiscent of what was that one character's name from One Punch Man? You know the one though. She's like the lolly telepath or telekinesis girl with the green hair. She's got the black dress that it just reminds me of this. But it's very good. I still kind of struggle with black and white art. I struggle with shading in general and understanding tones. I can get across the basic idea of how it's shaded and making sure things pop out and stuff like that, but it's very basic. So I'm hoping to improve on that with Reaper. I'm trying to add a lot more better tones in there, but it is quite a struggle, especially with Horizon Quest, I think it was more of a struggle than with something like this, where most of the tones are black and white in this because it's less detailed. Because I'm working with a very cartoonish art style, which made it much easier in a lot of regards. But with the printing of Horizon Quest, a lot of the shades of gray didn't even come through on the print, which made the PDF turn out to be a valuable thing to also have. So I worked with a lot of gray tones on Horizon Quest, trying to make it detailed and make things pop out more, and not all of them really showed through very well. Even some of the thin line art didn't really show through that well because it was too thin, I guess. Not that I'm completely disappointed in the printing of Horizon Quest, but visually, it's just not as good as it could have been, you know? But anyway, like I was saying before, Vera art piece looks fantastic. Much better tones. And I'll have to definitely work on my tones as I go forward with my newer black and white comics, as I am trying to focus on doing black and white as my main thing. And if I do other comics in color, it'll be more of a rarity, I think. Because, man, black and white is just so much easier. And I think, in most cases anyways, it works just as well. I mean, I love manga, like I've said a million times before. And all their stories are in black and white. So, you know how it is. So lighting okay. I guess you don't really need to see my face that much on a fan art stream. But it is, like I said, it's rainy outside. So my face, this area in general, is just darker than the usual. All right, let's look at more from Christy. Here's another one, another Vera piece. I think I can confirm that they loved Vera. Actually, they did do a review, and one of their complaints was not enough Vera. It's true. It's true. I also love the character. I love the character concept in general. I think it's just adorable. The tiny pixie controlling the suit of armor. Such a good idea. And that's like one of the main reasons why I wanted to do the Horizon Quest with Adam, is because a lot of his characters were fun, you know? I mean, you have like the standard knight and the standard elf archer, but then you have like a barbarian who's an elementalist. You have a druid who isn't really into nature that much, just does it as a job. And then you have Vera, the pixie controlling the suit of armor. And I think those three characters are much more unique and fun than maybe Harkon or Elanwi. Not that they're not fun at all. There are some interesting things about Harkon that I wouldn't really be able to talk to in a stream or to talk about in a stream, because we're not sure if we want to do more Horizon Quest comics down the line. But there are some, let's just say, interesting things about Harkon, and it's no mistake that he might look a little bit scary in Horizon Quest in some of the panels. There's there's some things about him. But yes, I love the Vera art. I love this character too. I'm hoping that if we do more Horizon Quest comics, we can have more Vera scenes. But for the first comic, she is a little bit more of a support character, of like more of a background to add to the coolness of their party. She's there. And, she has some fun scenes, but she's clearly not the focus, since Genwin is overall, of course, the main character. And has a little bit of a love thing going on with Astrid. So they might get a lot more focus. The idea of Vera is great. Yes. Such a good concept. honestly. All the more reason why you'd want to use it more. Of course, at the back of the comic, we got to do like character profiles, and I got to show some of the first sketches of them all, which was fun. And you get to learn a little bit more about the characters if you want to go read them. Vera has like her whole backstory essentially laid out in the back of the comic, although it is a little bit long, so I imagine some people might skip over it. But yeah, it's fun. So like, I don't think Adam minds if I show you. First sketch of Vera, and then a little bit of her backstory. Says much of Vera's armor is made of fitted parts crafted for a knight's son who elected to pursue business interests and hired a man to serve as his house's knight rather than follow in his father's footsteps and don armor himself. She received it as a gift from a lonely armorer after being caught in the middle of the night, helping him finish his work by animating all the hammers in his smithy. He couldn't bear to melt it down, and he appreciated the company of the helpful exile. Still, he keeps a cushion in his rafters, so she has a home to return to between adventures. So that's kind of her whole backstory, is that she met a blacksmith who created armor, and the armor is essentially left over from a business deal that didn't go through. So he gifted it to Vera, his, I guess, foster daughter in a way. It's cute. I like Vera. She's cute. Here's another one from Christy. Did it of me promoting my Horizon Quest comic in the Sugoi Dekai shirt. The Dekai is crossed out. Apparently, I'm not super big. I'm just Sugoi. Yeah, it's cute. I love these little art pieces. And we have two more from Christy. They actually did a good bit of fan art. I am so blessed. Adam, of course, he's never received any fan art for any stories that he's ever done before, so he was especially ecstatic to have gotten so much fan art for Horizon Quest. And still we're getting some fan art every now and then of the characters, and it really is quite a blessing, honestly. You know, a lot of indie writers, they dream of that moment where they have a dedicated fan base that like shows that they care about something that they did, and it means a lot, genuinely. All right, so here's the next one. Did Astrid and Genwin. Astrid looking like she's preparing for a spell. Did her in blue. Ooh, fashion change. Even added a little flower in her hair. That's pretty cute. I assume that might be referencing the a scene in the comic. I guess I shouldn't reveal too much. I just like read a whole passage from the comic itself. And then we see Genwin all the way in the back just waving. We see Vera on the skull, like the other art piece that we saw before where she's sitting on the skull. So that is also adorable. And oh yeah, here it is. That's Vera on the skull. Being all cutesy pootsy, looks like she's pouting, but it's adorable. It's adorable. I love the little boots. Look at the little boots. I think the shoes that I actually gave her in the comic were like kind of ballet slippers. I just thought it fit. You know, it's like, oh yeah, she's a pixie. She's all like dainty and whatnot. But these boots are super cute too. Yeah, super cute boots. She's a super cute gal. And this is some super cute fan art. Just casually sitting on a dead man's head. Adorable. And I think that's the last for. Oh, you know what? That's not the last. Because they also did one with Harkon and Alanwi. I don't have that one pulled up though, so I'll just look at it from Twitter. Yes, here it is. This is it. I forgot to save this one. So there's Alanwi. Oh, and there's like the picture of the art piece before by her quiver. And we got some Harkon. Looking buff and with 80s hair. Oh, I love it though. Fun fact about Alanwi. I don't know if this came across as clearly as it should have in the actual comic, but the idea that we had was that she had like a never-ending quiver, which is an item in D&D, and I interpreted it in the way that it like has a pocket dimension in it where you can just pull out arrows forever, basically. So you never run out of arrows. And it also helped because then I never had to draw any arrows in her quiver because it's just like a glowing pocket dimension in there. So much easier on the artistic side of things. But yeah, there they are, both looking cute, as you can imagine. Harkon looking badass. Hell yeah. He got that 80s rock star hair. He does. He really does. Oh man. We got a good bit of fan art for Horizon Quest. It's fantastic, honestly. I hope I get some fan art for Reaper soon. Although I guess I have to actually do the work of finishing the comic, which is its own thing. If you are interested in Reaper, that's the new fantasy thing that I'm coming out with. Well, Horizon Quest was written by Adam, of course. I wrote Reaper on my own, so I'm hoping that'll be equally as successful, if not more. It is a more darker fantasy, though. Horizon Quest was more of a lighthearted, fun, adventuring fantasy. Reaper is a little bit more on the semi-edgier, more apocalyptic, maybe, type side of things. And a little bit of horror in there. So, someone asked me how dark is Reaper, because I guess they were a little bit concerned. And the one thing that I can say that would maybe kind of help people determine how dark it is just, well, it's not as bad as Berserk. Because I think for a lot of people, whenever you mention that you're writing a dark fantasy, some people are just imagining as their default, oh shit, it's going to be like Berserk all over again. It's not as dark as Berserk. In fact, it's mostly inspired by like Dark Souls type games. But Reaper's dark, okay, sure. It's edgy, it's very moody, but it's not the type of story that you put down and you're like, damn it, I'm depressed and want to die, you know? I'm in general not really into the type of stories that make you feel worse after reading it. Reaper is just kind of like this balance of trying to fight against the despair of the world. And in a way, you know, the main character kind of turns into a rebel in that way, right? Because the world's going to shit and he's got to like stand up and try to maintain hope despite that. And yes, he goes through some horrors, as as happens when you're being tested. But yeah, let's already everything going on with Reaper. So if you're interested, go ahead and sign up for the mailing list. Let's continue with looking at some sick fan art, shall we? We got this one, another Horizon Quest fan art coming from Eric Canetti. Fucking awesome. It's funny because I wasn't expecting it. Like I know that Eric watches videos sometimes, follows me on Twitter, but this was really quite a great surprise. You know what? He did another one where maybe I can find it. He did an updated version. Maybe it would be easier to find it on Adam's Twitter since he doesn't really tweet a lot, actually. Calling him out for not using his social media. There it is. Yes. Because he forgot like the pixie pilot for the suit of armor. So he did an updated version where he put Vera into the armor. It looks fantastic though. My God. So on this piece, it's Vera and then Harkon and Astrid. Nice stuff. Nice stuff. Yeah, it is sick, right? That is some professional artist fan art right there. Can you believe it? It's like I'm still in the process of getting started for my comic journey here. And yet I have so many cool professional comic artists out there supporting me all the way. It's so cool. It's such a cool experience. I mean, I feel so humbled, I guess is the word. Because, Eric Canetti is obviously a much better artist than I, right? And then we got like people like Steiniger, I did the Comic Talk Tuesday with him. And even before I reached out to him to do a video, he bought Horizon Quest. He like backed the campaign. And I was like, oh my God, that's so nice. But how does he know who I am? It's like, it's so humbling. Christopher Staniger, he wants to read our comic and we're just like a couple of nobodies. But yeah, it's quite an experience. All right, let's go to the next fan art, people. Keep on trucking. This one right here was actually the first, or at least one of the first ones I've received, and this was from Curious Comics. I remember I received it through like email, and I wasn't expecting it, so it was quite cool. It's kind of like showing all the different characters. We got Genwin and Astrid in the front, Harkon and Vera controlling the little suit of armor there. And then Alanwi way in the back. In quite the spider position. But yeah, it looks like it was all done traditionally by hand too. Not too shabby. So much detail in the trees. I always, whenever I'm trying to do like the finer details of nature for stuff in my comics, you might have noticed that like at some point you can kind of just see the point on the panel where I just kind of gave up. Because like, I don't know how many other people go through this, but I have a lot of trouble taking breaks during pages because I kind of want to get to a good stopping point before I stop. So I try to do all of the like nature and background stuff in one go. And at some point, especially when drawing nature and like rocks and like drawing all the finer details with all like the cracks and the details on the tree bark and stuff like that, at some point my hand just starts shaking. Like it just completely starts giving out. I don't know. I guess it's because I'm moving in too slight of movements. And my arm just doesn't like doing that for a very long time. It's rough stuff, as I'm sure you can imagine. But that's all part of the artist's journey, is trying to figure out how to draw those finer details without having your hand spasm. Oh, thank you, Joseph Choi, for the $1.99. Son number 2 just got born. Soliciting good wishes. Very nice. That is awesome. Good job. Get that family going, man. That's good news. Look at that. We got midstream good news. Things are already getting brighter outside. All right. My wife did all the work. Yeah. Well, you did some of the work in the beginning. But let's continue. We still got some more fan art to look over, and it is, in fact, Fanart Friday. So this one I think we received most recently from Love to Draw. It's kind of like a redraw from a scene in the comic, actually, where Astrid is like charging up a meteor spell. So that's very cool. All in color. And looks like we did some painting work here. Very nice. There's the Love to Draw at deviantart.com. Make sure that you guys see the little watermark. Very nice work. That panel pose, yeah. Yeah, I was worried that, honestly, I went too dramatic on that one panel pose. I have, of the many things I still have learning to do for, I have issues with, I guess, foreshortening or I mean, like, I can do it in a way that, like, kind of makes sense, but I want to be able to do the very big dynamic shots of characters, and sometimes I have issues getting the position and foreshortening right and stuff like that. So, you know, I think I'm getting better at it, though. It's really just a matter of like trying out different things and finding certain positions and angles that look nice. So yeah, that was certainly a fun scene. Gave me a chance to sort of practice at that, even if it is super dramatic, you know? All right. And then this one I also received pretty recently. It was a birthday present, little birthday animation of Maddie from Ellie the Eliminator smashing a cake in my face. This, of course, came from Ryan Gillen, as he always does the really cute short animations for me. And I absolutely love them, of course. It's so much, of course, effort to like go through making an animation for a fan art. So it's just fantastic. Oh yeah, you definitely have an eye for how it should look. It just takes practice. Always go for the crazy pose. Yeah, there you go. That's another thing in manga too, I guess, is that they always go for the craziest looking poses, especially like JoJo. For those of you who watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or of course read the manga, they go for the insane poses, but they look dynamic and they look cool. And that's the big thing about it, you know? Oh, sorry. I thought maybe I could pause it, but I guess I couldn't. My birthday was August 28th, by the way. So we went on a little mini vacation for that one. Went to, I shared a couple of photos, but not too many. We went to like this nice castle that is somewhat local, local to the state anyway. And I believe the last three we have are from you, Renee. We have our first one, the lovely Astrid, and this is just so fantastic. I love so much about this one. It's so simple. Her just conjuring up this nice fire, and then we see that it's like in the shape of a cool looking fucking animal. It's adorable. Her braid is cute. I gotta get used to doing those types of big braids because I like how they look. I'm so used to doing just like one type of braid whenever I draw it, and it's basically like this type of braid where it's like really, really tight and tiny. But this is also fantastic. Like adds the element of like big and beautiful and gives me a chance to do more fucking crazy wavy lines, which I love doing naturally. I need to fix her boobs. Should be much bigger. Yeah, I guess so. As you can imagine, like, because I have only the biggest boobs on the cover, that's a lot of times what people say they look at first is just the big boobs. Which I guess was what Adam wanted, of course. If you actually look at the original sketch on the back, they were originally a lot more modest. Still big, but like more modest. And then Adam just told me to keep making them bigger. So, because it is a little bit part of the gag that they have, well, that he wrote into the comic itself. The idea that she's very, very open, kind of like, I might equate it to being similar to Starfire from Teen Titans, where you just like very open, and that's sort of represented in also how you dress, like wearing your heart on your sleeve type deal. But yeah, she's also a little bit naive, so it doesn't really occur to her that she's dressed seductively at all, or that she has giant boobs at all. It's just like how a lot of barbarians are, is that they just dress in the way that she's dressed with the loincloth and whatnot. And yeah, she just so happens to have quite the big boobs on her. And she's so naive to that fact that she doesn't realize that part of the reason Genwin actually joins their adventuring party is because he just wasn't paying attention. He's paying attention to something very different. But yes. And then Renee also did a Harkon piece, and he is looking quite fabulous, quite glorious, I might add. Oh, man. Good character. Good character. As I was saying before, there is a little bit more to Harkon that we don't really get into in the Horizon Quest comic, but I won't reveal that all here. Can't reveal, of course, just in case we do more comics in the future. I'm sure that Adam has a very specific way that he would like to reveal more stuff about this guy. But obviously, first comic, you just want to get across the main story. And the main story is about more so Genwin joining this adventuring party and finding his place in the world. But yeah, all of the side characters have something a little bit unique about them. Some stuff that we couldn't really directly get into in the first story. But if we ever do another one, it would be great to go back and see what we can do with these other characters, you know? And I believe the last one we have is the ever so lovely Alanwi. Yes, yes. I love the little floating arrows over here. Fantastic. I was just talking about like her quiver being like the never-ending quiver from D&D, and how that made it a lot easier for me as an artist because I didn't have to keep on drawing or keeping track of how many arrows she had in her quiver, because it was just a pocket dimension where she's just pulling out arrows forever. But yes, this is also a lovely restyling of Alanwi. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I was watching one review for Horizon Quest, kind of like thinking, oh, well, what is exactly different about Alanwi that doesn't just make her the stereotypical archer elf? She is probably the most stereotypical of, I guess, the adventuring party. The thing that makes her a little bit more unique, I suppose, is that she's not a type of elf that's just good at everything. And I guess that's something that maybe is a little bit too common in a lot of fantasy things, where you just have the elf who's ever so wise and is the fantastic leader that everyone must follow because they're so wise and so smart. And they're such good tacticians. They're just good at everything. And Alanwi is very much not that. She's got like the ego about her where she feels like, of course, she has to be the leader. She's the only one who can keep the rest of the team members in check. But she's not a tactician. In fact, she's a terrible tactician. She doesn't really quite understand how things should be in a fight. So she can't really lead them to victory, even if she is good at communicating and managing the team's party. She's not actually good at the combat side of things. And she doesn't really have that elf wisdom that they're known for. But, you know, she's got the... Everyone still has, like, even in the fantasy universe that they're in, there still is that stereotype of elves being this wise race that you have to always listen to. So she has that pressure of being very wise. But yeah, she's a little bit not the stereotypical type of elf, and then a little bit, yeah, the stereotypical type of elf. It's a little, you know, back and forth on that one. I guess the might as well draw the other two. Yeah, I guess there's only two other characters. Last three are very well done. Great artists. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Renee DeLiz, she's professional. You can tell just by looking at, of course. I do not like elves, but this one is okay. Thanks, Iskra. Oh, man. I'd say she's less timid and more of a leader than your typical elf character, which is awesome. Yes, yes. She has, like, the ego about her, right? So she very much wants to take charge. And part of how she takes charge is she tells Genwin to take charge of the tactical side of things, because she knows that he's a little better at that, and then she's better at managing the party. So it's like different skills, you know? Certainly leaves plenty of ideas on what you can do with her. Oh yeah, definitely. The token elves influenced a lot of fantasy, so I get that. Oh yeah, the token elves were definitely just like always better than humans in every way. And we kind of wanted to do a balancing act of that. So one of the things is in Lord of the Rings, elves are so light that they don't sink into the snow, so they can move around rough terrain very nicely. And then in Horizon Quest, we keep that, where elves are so light that they can dance on snow, so to say. But we actually put like reasoning behind it, first of all, and like part of it is that she's light, so she can go through rough terrain and all that stuff. But it also it also tires her out more, right? She has like less endurance, so she can't really just dance on snow forever. Eventually she has to rest, and she has like less endurance than humans, because endurance is a very human trait. Even if you look at like the real world that we live in, humans have more endurance than any other animal on the whole planet. And that's part of the reason. There are many reasons, of course, but it's part of the reason why we were able to survive out in the wilderness and didn't get like wiped out by mountain lions or some shit, because we could literally just outrun them and out-tire them. But you know. Thanks for sharing my art. I missed it live because I had to pause and step out a minute. No problem. Thanks for doing the art. I'm glad we got to do our little Fanart Friday again. We still have some time though, so we can go over other stuff. Now it's just like free talk time, you know? Now we just talk about whatever we want. But yes, I do love the fan art spotlight moments. DanFan, have you heard about based mods yet? Are you referring to something in specific, or because as some of you might know, we have a gaming channel for the game fans, and we're not entirely strangers to downloading some based mods, but but I don't know if you're talking about something specific. Oh, the website in general. I didn't know there was a website, but we definitely got to go check that out. What is there to discuss? Show some of your latest Reaper work? Ugh, that's harder. That's a little bit. Yes, show some more of Reaper. I really want to see that happen. I want to see it happen too. At this rate, though, it looks like we're going for the next year launch date instead of this year, because we were really hoping to get more signatures on the mailing list, and we're a little bit low on signatures, which, you know, it's fine. I'll still do the comic, of course, because it's more of a passion project than anything else, but, you know, it makes sense for me as a responsible adult to finish other work before focusing on Reaper again, when I know that there's probably not as large of an audience for it yet. You know, like it makes more sense for me to take more time to build up a bigger audience for it before releasing it. So I haven't been doing that much work on Reaper. I did a little bit of work on it like this week, right? But not really any more pages to show. I did a little bit of editing on some pages that I already had done. I did a little bit more of additional art. I started to work on, or rework on, an art page for the interior, just like something to serve as like a promotional bit. And yeah, so not too much of a step forward for that project, because I'm waiting for that mailing list to build up until we're ready to launch that. But in the meantime, what I really have to work on, because adult responsibilities demand it, I have to work on finishing up a lot of Sonic City Witch work. So, like, issue 3 is supposed to come out October. We're doing that for the Halloween season, which I guess Reaper also kind of fits, right? Because it's dark fantasy and kind of horror-esque. But yeah. So issue 3 is almost done. It's very close to done. But I do still have to do a good bit of work. I have to do like shading. And I have to do the lettering. Ugh, the lettering. And I still have to wait for some pages because I don't have all of the art pages yet. That's, that's part of the thing with working with somebody else to do a comic. If I'm doing the writing side, then I have to wait for the art side to come back. And, it's two-person job for Sonic City Witch. And additionally, to finishing up issue 3, I've also been working with Adam to write issue 4, which should be the finale. And then that would close out that series, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. Whew, this finale issue is way late when it comes to being written. I had it written before, right? I had the whole thing written before as a graphic novel. Then I had to kind of do some rewriting to make them work as issues instead of just one big story, because I decided to split it up. And then, kind of last minute, well, not last minute, but kind of decided to change the ending up a little bit, which is part of the reason why Adam is now working with me to make it a nice, satisfying conclusion. Have everything make sense and be fun and be flashy. But yeah. So I do have to finish up that script. Kinda my deadline is basically this month. So I have to keep on passing back and forth scripts with Adam. We've already blasted through a bunch of them. So hopefully when we get down to the final one, it'll be fantastic. It'll be peak. Because you want to go off on a high note when you're working on the finale of something, Making comics ain't easy. Fuck if that ain't the truth, man. That is, yep. It's very difficult. But yeah, once I'm done that script, I also have to sketch out the pages so that Alex has some reference to look towards. So a lot of work needs to be done for that one. Additionally, some work needs to be done for the Reaper campaign when we're ready to do the Reaper campaign, actually. I already mentioned it before, but we are doing some fun stuff to make the Reaper campaign a little extra special. We're thinking of doing a 3D model of a printed figure of the castle from Reaper and having that be as the top tier thing. Of course, we are not strangers to 3D printing things, as you've seen with the Horizon Quest campaign and the standee Vera helmet holder, or helmet 3D, the 3D helmet standee holder. That's the correct. Yes. But yeah, so we want to do more 3D printed stuff for Reaper as well, to have that as tiers. And you know how like in Horizon Quest we also had the sword bookmarks with Adam's name on it? For Reaper, we were going to do the sword from the actual comic. And I don't want any words really printed on the bookmark, though, because I think it just looks cool to just have the sword. But yeah, so we're going to have the cursed sword from the comic. It'll be a bookmark for the actual comic. And I also commissioned a poster already to be done by this fantastic environmental artist. You probably already saw it if you follow me on Twitter at all. But yeah, that looks really great. That is wall art to have alongside your fantastic Reaper comic, of course. So, yeah, there's going to be fun stuff coming for that campaign when it comes. But, man, do I need a bigger audience. I use it as a letter opener, though. Well, be careful, because, well, I guess, you know, the Adam Meisner sword bark marks are pretty thick. They're thicker than the Reaper bookmarks are looking right now. We've done a few test prints just to see how it should be modeled and whatnot. Maybe we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves because there's no release date for Reaper yet. I think maybe once I'm at least done the Sonic City Witch script, I'll finally figure out a release or a campaign date for Reaper. Because, you know, sometimes you just got too much on your plate. I feel like if I can just get Sonic City Witch off my shoulders and just not worry about it anymore, everything will just fall into place. Everything will just be so much easier. Because it's just too much at once, man. It's my own fault, but, you know, that comic series has just been going on for too long. You'll gain an audience if you put out your best work, which is Reaper. Yeah. I sure hope it is. For sure. Man. I want that to be my series. I've already said this. I've given my spiel, but I want Reaper to be my main series that I can focus on. And, you know, I'll still do other comics, but the thing with a guaranteed audience, the thing that I'll always be doing and always be putting books out on for like the rest of my life, I want it to be Reaper. Like how many other mangaka out there have their iconic series that they put out. I want to have mine of that, you know? But man, it is a lot of work, and I don't want to bite off more than I can chew, you know? It's a little bit demotivating when you're trying really hard to get more of an audience and you remain stagnant for a really long time. YouTube, I'm actually really disappointed in YouTube right now. It's a much more recent thing. Maybe it's not that recent, but and maybe it has something to do with the fact that my hard drive to my last laptop died, and I went like 2 months or so without uploading anything, which is, you know, quite something when you're on YouTube. That really messes with you. That messes with the algorithm somehow, I guess. But also YouTube has this new thing that they're implementing. They're always changing up how the algorithm works because they don't want people to take advantage of it in any way. They don't want people to have a surefire way to go viral, which I guess makes sense. But what they have right now as their system for recommending videos is really bad. It's awful. I've never had more trouble getting views or getting like traction on YouTube than I've had this year. This year has definitely been my worst year on YouTube. It's been so rough. Even though I tried to switch up my YouTube to make it more algorithm friendly, because people always said, oh, well, you do too much different stuff, so the algorithm is confused. You have to do like more focused videos. And this year I tried to do only comic-based videos, only like read-throughs or reviews or talking about manga or anime. That was my version of trying to do a more focused channel. And YouTube just was not recommending my videos to people who actually wanted to watch that type of stuff. So my click rate went down, or click-through rate, went down. And like I said before, it's just been completely stagnant throughout the whole year. I haven't been losing any subscribers, but I haven't been gaining any either. And the views are just like the same all the time. Or sometimes like very, very worse. And, you know, it's just, I've been having the worst year on YouTube as far as trying to get more of an audience, even though I'm trying to do like the right thing, the thing you're supposed to do on YouTube. It's just not working. So I don't know what you're actually supposed to do on YouTube. It's very confusing. I don't know how the heck this platform works. So I don't know how to expand my audience at all. Quite daunting, I must say. Yes, Eric Lowry, very true. No mortal man can know the true nature of the almighty algorithm. Yeah, it's so true. YouTube's clearly dumb. I think you should also upload videos to X. I don't know. The X algorithm works very well. I don't know. I don't watch videos on X. So it's hard to really, you know, it's like me uploading a video of something that I would never watch myself. I can't really feel like... All right, well, you know my point. Yeah, make some Last Jedi videos. Or how Dark Souls doesn't need an easy mode. Yeah, those videos always get a lot of views. That's true. You just gotta do what everybody else is doing. You gotta get on that Even Fan Skyver grift girl. Maybe I should just have the super clickbaitiest titles ever. Like, even when I give something a positive review, I just title it, "This is the worst comic ever." You know, with like the A at the end. I was watching some of Chalupa's videos, and he does actually have like pretty funny videos, but he has a bunch of videos exactly like that. He said that he had like so much trouble getting people to click on videos where he gave something a positive or mid review. So he just started, like, for every video, he started saying that it was the worst comic ever, but then they click on the video and it's like, it's okay. Because that's the only thing people will click on. They're like just hate clicking. They just want to see somebody yell at something. And I get it. Although granted, my read-throughs started doing worse this year also. Like, everything in general just started doing worse on YouTube this year. I don't know why. We don't understand the almighty algorithm. It is beyond our comprehension. But yeah. I'm a newer viewer. I love your content. You're so funny. Thank you. Also, please don't rob me. Put the gun down. No. Thank you for hanging out on the Dan Fan Shan. I'm glad that you find my content funny. I'm starting to worry that I'm becoming more dry in humor as the years go by. Like, it's more visible that I'm getting tired. So I start to worry that I'm starting to bore people. So hopefully that doesn't start happening. Guess the best ways for us to get the algorithm favor this channel. Start watching more of Dan Fan's videos again, folks. Yeah, I should maybe I should just like take some old videos and just re-upload them. I think that's also a method, honestly, is re-uploading super old videos again and then having it all of a sudden take off on the algorithm. I know that that's a method on Twitter for sure. It's just retweeting old tweets or reposting art pieces that you've already done from way back. Apparently that works. I don't know. It's still waiting for the Princess's Jewels Part 2. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so true. People, I think, was it the first Webtoon read-through I did? Was that Boyfriends? Or was that the gay angel one? I think it was Boyfriends, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure Boyfriends at least came before. But you know what I mean. People were like begging me to keep reading it, but oh my god, it's so bad and it's so boring. But I do appreciate the views, so maybe I should start reading Boyfriends again. I don't know. Blacklight Jack has been having a lot of trouble with those read-throughs, which also makes me nervous. Like Blacklight Jack, I've done a few read-throughs with him. I've done quite a lot of read-throughs with him actually on his channel. The artists, or maybe the writers, creators, whatever you want to call them, some of them got super offended by his R read-throughs, I guess. So they started copy striking him. And they're all copy striking him at once, which is a real pain. Some of you might know, but I used to have a channel before this one, right now, where I used to do that type of reaction stuff more often. And that channel basically got copy struck to death. It was partially my own fault, but you know, I can definitely understand like somewhat what he's going through right now. The real issue is like my old channel got copy struck because I clearly showed too much of copyrighted material. His is getting copyright struck by people who are just being spiteful because he said something saucy, you know, about their webcomics. And I guess I don't know if they're like communicating amongst each other to gang up on him all at once. But yeah, with copyright strikes, they're way more punishing when it happens all at the same time. Because eventually, like if you get struck once, it eventually goes away, right? But if you keep on getting struck, then it's a big pain. Yeah. I love your videos with Blacklight Jack. Thank you. The video series with Boyfriends was hysterical. Well, yeah, maybe that's the key then. Maybe in order to make my channel survive again, even though I said that I was going to stop doing the Webtoon read-throughs for a while, maybe that is the key to bringing my channel back to life, resuscitating it. I start reading Boyfriends again, or I read the rest of Religiously Gay. That's the secret key, unlocking the channel so that I... you know, I've been doing those Webtoon and DCYA comic read-throughs for a long time. I don't get nearly as good of views as Blacklight Jack does. I did start doing it before him, but once he started doing it, man, his views are up here, mine are down here, you know? So it makes more, I mean, in a way, that's probably partially why they went after him with the copyright strikes, because he has more of a reach. Even though I have more subscribers, he has more of a reach because YouTube algo likes him better. Like I said, we can never quite fully understand the mysterious nature of the YouTube algorithm. I just don't get it. I don't know what I gotta do. Who dick do I gotta suck to get my videos recommended to the right people? I don't know. Don't know. Yours by yourself is so unique. It's what made you stand out to me in the first place. Well, that's nice. Religiously Gay. Oh, you don't remember? Oh, yeah, the Religiously Gay webtoon. That was another one that like got me any significant amount of views. Let me see. How much views did Religiously Gay get? Let's find out together. Oh yeah, I can search the channel. Religiously Gay. It's not that bad. 8,000 views on the first video, and I only did 2. The second video did like almost 6,000 views. It's not bad, you know? In the grand scheme of things, compared to like the views I get on average nowadays, that's not bad. How much did Boyfriends get? All right. Let's read Boyfriends. Oh, almost 10,000 views. That's pretty good. That's actually pretty good. I think we unlocked it. I just need to read the gayest webtoons there are. And then and then success. But even those, like, you know what I mean? Like, even the highest viewed webtoon readings that I go through, it's still not nearly as much as my Blacklight Jack. What's the word I'm looking for? For some reason, co-op keeps coming with. It's not. I mean, it is kind of like co-op, but what's the word I'm looking for? Collaboration. Yes, that's it. Collaboration. My Blacklight Jack collaboration video got way more views, and then his video that he made after that got even more views. So, you know, life is tough. I'm kind of broke when it comes to views on YouTube. That's a gay strategy. Ho-ho. Yes. Talk more like that and you might get more views. Show more of your silly side. Oh, man. You're right. I got to make sure I don't become jaded. Because you know, life gets a little bit hard. You kind of start to feel it in yourself. You like become a little bit more dry. And I've been definitely feeling that. I've definitely been feeling like my humor's been getting a lot more dry. I agree with Curious. I love when she lets loose with her sense of humor. All right. Gotta do more silly stuff. Thanks for the super sticker, the coconut. I'm sorry I can't see what the sticker is. StreamYard doesn't let me see those icons. Anything with gay will get you views. Yeah, it seems like it, huh? I gotta say, there's so much boys love stuff on Webtoon that it's just like, I mean, basically anything on Webtoon is usually pretty bad, but because there's so much boys love stuff, it just makes it a little bit more funny. The stickers of some popcorn. Gotcha. Well, anyway, we're like 10 minutes over the hour, so I guess we should start wrapping things up for this Friday stream, but it was fun. Good that I got to vent out a little bit of my frustrations with YouTube. I have been having, you know, I don't like talking about it because I feel like it makes me look like a little, what's the word? Beta bitch. You know, it makes me look, people don't really like it when people down talk themselves, which is a funny thing to point out because there's so many people out there that think that self-deprecating humor is like the best, but in general, especially when you're trying to like sell stuff to people, right? Because I'm trying to sell my comic business here, and so I try to avoid as much as possible self-deprecating on myself to stop making myself seem like a failure to people who want to invest in me, because naturally you're not supposed to do that. But it is good sometimes to just like kind of sigh a little and like get some weight off your chest. So I am a little bit glad that I got to vent a little bit about the frustrations with YouTube and not really quite getting what I want out of this platform here. I'm hoping things look up in the future. Hopefully they fix whatever they broke on the algorithm, because I used to be gaining a lot more subs. No, I mean, like, well, I used to be gaining subs in general. Like I said, I haven't lost any, I haven't gained any. It's just been like stagnant numbers for the entire year. And it used to be, in general, I would gain at least 1,000 or so every year. And that did not happen this year. So a little bit frustrating, right? Because I want to see growth. I want to reach out to more people and new audiences and people who would be interested in comics and checking out some indie stuff. Those are the people that I really want to talk to on this channel. And I feel like I'm being blocked off by a wall, you know? By a little algorithm wall that just doesn't want me to talk to those people. So it's a little bit frustrating, but it's good to get it off my chest. Thanks, Maverick Christian, for the $2. Let's wrap things up with a super chat. Thank you. Life is hard. Never give up, and you will be fine. Maybe depressed, but fine. Thank you. Keep watching Dan Fan's videos, folks. Maybe a boost can happen. Sure. If you guys see any read-throughs, I guess you haven't seen yet. I've done so many of them at this point. So, one of my favorite videos was your Kim Possible video when you did the cosplay and started screaming at the camera and lifting the chair over your head. That sounds like something I would do, yeah. Unfortunately, I can't throw chairs like I used to that was a really old video, because that was when I was in my house before this house, before that house, you know? That was 2 houses ago. But yeah, I had a wheelie chair and I picked up and threw on more than one video, I might add, because it was just so easy to pick it up, and it made for such great dramatic effect. I can't really throw this hard wooden chair anywhere, and I'm also in a corner, trapped in a cage for this setup that I have right now. In the future, it might be nice to start recording videos in a bigger room again, but for right now, this is what I got to work with, so no more chair throwing for now. But perhaps another day, I will throw the chair again. Yeah. I agreed. I learned that the hard way to stop self-trashing my art. If you don't take yourself seriously, no one will. Very true. Very true. And in general, I've definitely walked up to some tables for artists where they trash their own art and they make themselves sound really bad. And maybe some people do it for some sympathy or something, but it does make people uncomfortable. Even if, for one, you're not really making your work sound that great. So people aren't going to be very encouraged to get it. But then on the other hand, it also makes people feel awkward and uncomfortable. And I don't want people to feel that way when I talk about my struggles. But, yes, chair violence. Bitch threw a chair. I'm mad. Yeah, it's so good. Oh, man. That room, I had some issues with that one setup when I was in that room. But it was fun to have a lot of space. For YouTube, they say to do stuff like this, where you have stuff displayed in behind you and posters and stuff. I want to fix up this setup a little bit too. But yeah, having space is fun as well, because you get to throw chairs. Didn't think about that one, did you? All right. I think we're done for this stream. So thanks for joining me for another fantastic Friday. We'll have the next One Piece episode review out the upcoming Wednesday, I suppose. And in Reaper news, I'll keep you updated. I do have to finish work on, of course, Sonic City Witch, but I'll keep you updated on Reaper news. We'll see that we can get a campaign date for that comic, because I still am going to do it, of course. I'm still very passionate about doing my dark fantasy series. And I do hope that you read that comic and you're like, whoa, so good, you know? And hopefully I can sell you on the second book after you read it. But let's head off for now. I'm going to say good night, everybody. And we'll see you next time on the Dan Fan channel. All right, good night. And I guess maybe see you on the Game Fan stream if you want to go watch us game. We've been doing the Convergence mod on Elden Ring, so that's a little bit fun. That's kind of in the theme with dark fantasy, right? Elden Ring, yeah, there's more Souls games. Anyway, see you next time, guys. Bye.